Hello, and welcome to Southwest Cyberport's WP Coffee Break, WordPress answers in the time it takes to have a cup of coffee. Today we're going to learn how to password protect content on your WordPress site. There are many reasons you might want to do this, and we'll just look at a couple of them today. If you have a situation we didn't cover here, just ask in the comments and we may do a follow-up video. So what information might you want to protect on your WordPress site? The two most common answers are private documents and digital files you want to sell. Today we'll focus on private documents. This might be a directory of members of your club or organization, business plans, or even a family newsletter. From the WordPress perspective, this information breaks down into two types: information presented on a page or post, and files that are uploaded. Usually your information will be a combination of both of these types. They each have to be addressed within your site. We'll start with pages and posts. WordPress makes it very easy to password protect a page or post. We'll add a page for club newsletters. The process is the same as adding any page in WordPress. The only thing we do differently is click the visibility setting over here on the sidebar. Click the edit link to get the options. You can either add a password or select private. If it's private, then the page will only be visible to you while logged into the site, not to any other site users. While that makes your data perfectly safe, it's also perfectly useless. What we want to do is set a password on this page. Now anybody who wants to access it will need to know the password. Anytime you add access restrictions to your site, you need to test it. It can be a little tricky because once you've accessed the page, you don't have to give the password when you visit a second time. That makes it hard to tell sometimes if things are working like they should, or if you've accidentally removed the password protection for a page. One good way to handle this is with what Chrome calls an Incognito Window. This is a new browser window which doesn't have any of the cookies, history, or passwords that would be available to your normal browser windows. Safari and Firefox call these private browsing windows, and they're the same thing. They let you very conveniently visit the site as though you were a member of the public. After you test, you can close that incognito window and open another one when you want to test again. Each time you open a new one, it will have no knowledge of the other sessions. I'll visit the site in my incognito window, visit the club newsletters page, which I've added to the site menu, and it wants me to enter the password. If I enter the wrong one, it won't let me in. When I finally enter the correct password, I get to see the page. This next point is subtle but very important. We've password protected this page, so you need the password to get the information. However, the PDFs we have linked here are in the WordPress media library on our site. Anybody who has the URL which links to one of these PDF files can download them without going through this protected page. WordPress is organized this way for a good reason. Allowing direct access to the files in the media library is many times faster than if WordPress had to play gatekeeper for every image file needed to construct a page view. However, it has this side effect. This trap that a lot of people fall into, where it seems like you have password protected some information, but later you find that your private files have been indexed by Google because they got exposed in some way. What we need is a way to store those private uploads in a separate area, not in the usual media library, where they can't be accessed by just anyone who knows the URL. And then we need a gatekeeper to allow access to those files only under the right conditions. There are several plugins available to solve this problem. We're going to show how to do it with one particular plugin called Download Monitor. This plugin is free, has good ratings, and has some paid add-ons available if you need more advanced features. After we install and activate the plugin, there's a new Downloads item on the dashboard sidebar. When we click it, we see there's a link we need to follow to do some first-time setup. Here you create some pages that Download Monitor needs. If you don't plan on selling digital files, you don't need to create the cart and checkout page, but everybody should create the no access page. Before we add downloads, I'm going to tweak the Permalinks setting on my site. I found that settings which include index.php in the URL don't work well with certain types of plugins, like Download Monitor, so I will set mine to post name. If you already have permalinks set to something you like, just try it and see if it works okay. Now to get started, we'll add a download. To be honest, I found this page a little confusing. since it looks so much like the screen for editing WordPress posts. In most cases, you can ignore a lot of what's here. We just need to work on 3 things here: the title, uploading the file, and setting the visibility. Start by giving it a descriptive title so you can find it easily later, and then click the Add File button. One note here: the Browse for File button browses your WordPress directory on the server, not your computer. That could be useful in some cases, but usually you just want to click Upload File, which takes you to the media library. Click Upload Files, select a file from your computer, and then hit Insert URL. Next, we'll change the visibility setting, which defaults to public. Check the Edit link to get options. This is just like the visibility setting for a page, which we saw earlier. We'll set a password here, and now anybody who wants to download this file will need to know the password. Now hit Publish, and we're done with this download. While I add a couple more downloads here, I should just mention that while it looks like we're uploading files into the media library, the Download Monitor plugin is actually redirecting these uploads into a separate directory. That directory is not available from the web, so somebody who knows the link can't get to it without going through the Download Monitor plugin and entering a password. Now we have the file on the site, and it's protected by a password. The next step is to add a link to the file on a WordPress page. Earlier we added a page for club newsletters. Let's go back to that page and add links to a few PDFs that we've uploaded. This plugin has integrations with both the new Gutenberg block editor and the classic editor. The method looks different for each of them, so I'm going to show how to add download links with each one in turn. First, we'll use the classic editor. We place the cursor where we want the next link to go, then click the Insert Download button above the editor controls. It shows us a list of the files we've uploaded. We select the one we want, click Insert Shortcode. When this page is displayed to the user, the shortcode, this text inside square brackets, will be replaced with a link to the download file. Now I'm going to click Publish to save these changes, then go back to the list of pages and edit the same page again, this time with the block editor. First, I'll enter the text that I want to precede the link. When I press Enter, it starts a new block. Now I scroll through the list of block types, and I find the one for inserting a download. Instead of inserting the shortcode text, it adds a download button, but it says we need to select a download first. Remember that in the block editor, the right-hand sidebar always has controls for the block you have selected. If we look over there now, we see this pull-down menu and can select the file that we want to attach to this button. Click Update to save our changes, and then we can view this page to see how it looks. We've added the Club Newsletters page to the menu so we can get to it easily. I have to enter the password to view the page. Then when I click any of these PDF links, I have to enter the password for that PDF. I used a different password for this page and for the download files. If you were to use the same password for both, you would only have to enter it one time. Any further files which have the same password will be served up without having to enter it again. It's up to you which approach makes the most sense for your site. Here's a little shortcut that can save you some time if you have a lot of downloads. You can have the plugin generate the list of downloads for you so you don't have to add them to a page one by one. Let's go back to our Club Newsletters page, and we'll delete these links that we added before and replace them all with one shortcode called Downloads. Note the S on Downloads. Now save this and view the page, and we see that the plugin has taken care of listing them out for us. You can add things to the Downloads shortcode to control things like which files to include, how to order them, etc. Check the documentation on the Download Monitor website for these details. I hope this basic introduction to protecting private data on a WordPress site has been helpful. There are a few related topics we didn't cover here. For example, you can use the Member checkbox to make a download available to anybody who has logged into your site. There's also e-commerce support, so you can tie a download to a PayPal payment button, and there are several paid extensions available to give you more functionality, such as requiring the user to fill out a form before downloading a file. If you try any of these methods and they don't work the way you expect, or if you have a situation that's different from what we've covered, leave us a message in the comments and we'll check it out. This has been a WP Coffee Break from Southwest Cyberport, a cutting-edge WordPress hosting provider in the heart of the American Southwest. If you need fast, secure, and friendly WordPress hosting, head over to swcp.com/coffee to check us out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future video topics, leave a message in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.